Hey everybody. So I'm just in the midst of getting ready here and thought I would pop on and do a bit of a smoky eye look for you guys today. So what I'm going to use is really just two products and then a brush. So I'm going to show you our eye primer and how it works. And then I'm going to use our palette number 2. So it's these really pretty grays, kind of dark shimmery kind of one. So it's a really pretty smoky eye. I normally wouldn't wear quite so dramatic of a look if I was going to like say work, but like night out, or if you're doing a ladies night out, or you can kind of blend this down and do it as a lesser version too. So let me know if you guys have questions about this. Again, I'm not an eyeshadow pro at all. I kind of go with 1 or 2 shades and go, so bear with me. So I'm going to use those 2 products, and then I've also got my brushes I'm going to play with a little bit. So I've got the liner shader brush that has the double ends, so the angled one and your big one. I have got the Deluxe Brush, so it's just one big one to kind of go over your whole lid, and then I've got our Crease Brush as well. So I'm going to play a little bit with these 3 as I'm doing it today too. And yeah, so eye primer. First of all, what it does is it is skin colored almost, and it gives you a really, really good base on your eyelid. So if you're using eye primer, your eyeshadow makeup or eye makeup will go nowhere. It will stay, and it will make it look a lot more bold as well. So if you want a bit more of a dramatic look and you want it to stay all night and you're going to be sweating, or you're going to be out doing stuff, or you're in Mexico or somewhere where it's hot, you're going to want eye primer. So I've already done my base face today. I just have on regular face primer, pressed powder today, a little bit of bronzer, a little bit of blush, and then I've done my eyebrows. So that's all I have on. And so eye primer, you literally need nothing, like a tiny little bit. I'm just trying to think here. I'm going to just do one eye, I think, for you guys. We'll see though as we get going. I try not to make my videos too long for you, because I know sometimes you don't have 10-15 minutes, but you want to see kind of how to do it, and you want it to be short and sweet. So I'll maybe just do this eye for now. So you kind of just rub your eye primer in gently. I'm being very kind to my eyes too lately. I'm going to post a little bit about kind of what's been going on with me on Facebook too, because lots of you have been asking. So I'm just trying to be a little bit more gentle with my eyes and de-stress and be positive and all these other things. So you're going to see a lot of that from me over the next little bit too. So stick with me and we will get there. So eye primer, you don't have to let it dry, but it kind of just gives you a little bit of a nude base, and it feels almost a little bit more tacky, so it kind of will get the product on there. So that's our eye primer. What am I going to start with? I'm going to start with our Deluxe Brush, so one big one. And when you're doing shadows, what you want to do, and how I've always been taught, is you want to start with your lightest color, and you can kind of go back afterwards and go back the other direction if you need to, but you always want to do a light base all over your whole lid. If you have a hooded eye, so you can see my eyelids really easily if I have my eyes open, but if you have a hooded eye, it means that you can't really see it. So when you're doing it with hooded eyes, you need to actually go over and above up here into your crease, so you're able to actually see your shadow. Whereas with me, if I just stand back, I don't have hooded eyes, you're going to be able to see my color, and it looks ridiculous on me if I do too far up in here, because I have quite a bit of a gap between my brows and my eyes. So I don't do my shadow like my lash line all the way to my brows. I kind of just do on my lid and up a little bit in my crease, so it's not too crazy. But again, if you have different eye shapes, or you guys need help with how to do it because you have a different lid shape or a different eye shape, let me know and I can kind of send you a few tips too. So light color you want to do all over your whole lid, and then I kind of start here and do dark and gradually just kind of go out, and blend is the biggest thing. So we're going to start with something fairly light. I'm just going to use this palette to show you guys kind of the look you can make with just this. So I'm going to start with Romantic. So it's this light gray kind of color. And you don't need a whole ton on your brush, but you're just going to start and kind of place it all over your whole lid. I'm just going to do a little more and try and get most of your light color in your corner, because that's where it's going to stay, and I might kind of go back in afterwards and just spruce the light up. So again, if I had a hooded eye, I would go up a little bit farther too so you could see this, but I'm kind of just doing it straight on my eye. So again, you can use just one color, so that's what that looks like with just one, and it's still super pretty. But I'm going to show you guys how to do the smoky eye. So now I want to pick a color that's a little bit darker than this, and so we want to go up. So I'm going to, Oh, guys, I'm going to kind of stick with 3 because I'm only going to use 3 colors. So I'm going to go up and do Perplexed, which is this darker gray here. And it is also matte. And I'm way more in love with the matte colors than the other ones. So sorry, my phone's going nuts here. So I've got the shade on there. So now I'm just going to work it about half. And again, remember, we're going to go back in and blend a little bit more too, but you just kind of want to blend this into what you've got. So I'm leaving my light color on my edge, but I'm just kind of putting it out here. So just like that. So it kind of gives me the smoky eye starting. So I've got the light and now I've kind of got the dark, and I'm going to go back in and fill in the dark afterwards too. But I'm just going to blend it out a little bit. So if you guys are blending, what I found works really, really good is to use this windshield wiper motion. So you just kind of put it back and forth, blend it, blend it. You can kind of play with it a little bit, and then you can go back in afterwards. And it's going to look way different too once I have like my mascara and everything on as well, and I kind of go back in and just clean it up. But that's kind of how it's starting to look right there, and it's going to give me a bit of a lift too on my outer bit. So then I am going to actually go in and use the double-sided. This one just has a bit of a smaller kind of piece to it. So then what you want to do once you kind of get your base color in is you want to apply some extra darkness in here in a V and kind of go up into your crease a little bit, and then we can also blend that out. And then I'm going to go back in with my light and just kind of go over it. So I'm going to use this Peppy, this dark black color to get me my V. And I'm going to use the shader end here because it's easy to apply. So literally, I'm just putting a tiny titch on the end of my brush like this. And I'm going to almost line it on my lash line and kind of go up and line. And I'm just using small kind of tapping, patting motions because I don't want it to be too crazy. Up into my crease. And kind of down into this V area. And I'm going to use a tiny bit more here. So just kind of like that. All I've done is kind of a V or a backwards C almost on my lid. So just like that. And darks look really, really dark on me because I'm quite pale and have blonde hair. But now what I want to do, and I go back in and I use this crease brush because I love it, I'm going to blend it out. So all I'm doing, because now you can see that there's that C there. We don't want it to look like there's a C. So we just blend. So you just use that same windshield wiper motion. And you kind of just go through. And get it how you want it. And this is the biggest thing I've learned is this blending. And this is a little bit darker, remember, because I used my eye primer than what it would be for a day look, so you can pick lighter colors. I picked quite dark for today. But that's kind of how the smoky eye would look. So it looks quite pretty compared to the other one. And then what I'm going to do and what I do a lot of the time, so I would go back and I would use a light, like a white kind of cream color up above here just to give my brow a bit of a highlight underneath. But I'm going to go back and use our Deluxe brush and the lightest shade here, that same one I use, So Romantic. And because I don't like mine super dark, I go back in with my light and I kind of just do a quick blend over with it. And it kind of just lightens it up a little bit and gives me a bit of that pop again because I quite like the highlight on my eye. And then I would go back in and I would use a little bit of my white in my corner. I would do my liner, I would do my mascara, but that's kind of how easy it is to do a smoky eye. So nothing too crazy, but if you kind of just stick with 3 colors, remember, pick the lightest, kind of pick a middle transition color, and then pick your dark and do the outside C. And it should work fairly well. And remember, if you have a hooded eye, you kind of want to go up. So how you can see mine, you can see that it's kind of still here in the crease. If it's up higher, you're going to need to go up here with your crease so that you can see it if your eyelid is a bit higher up. So hopefully that was somewhat helpful. I'm going to go back in after here and just finish my other eye out. And if you guys have questions or you want to see other colors or different kinds of things, we do have 5 of these palettes, so there is different kinds of looks you can use. This one again is probably the one I use the least, to be honest with you, but I do use it to go out. So, but if you have darker skin or anything like that and you want something that's a bit more of a pop for your eye color, absolutely amazing. So feel free to ask me any questions, and yeah, okay, thanks ladies.